Hey, I'm with Nick Sinopoli. He runs the Icarus, company Icarus, and they produce the view restriction device that you can control using an app on your phone or the little device. And that's what this video is going to be about, so stick with us. Hey, I'm Scott Perdue, and I've got Nick Sinopoli here from Icarus, and we're going to talk about the view restriction device that they have. And this is actually a preface to a video. I did a flight with it and shot an approach with the video, or with the view restriction device, and that's the one that I took down. And we're going to talk about what I did wrong and why these guys want to take it down. We're going to show the video as I did it in its entirety. So tell me what I did wrong, Nick.
Well, hey, thanks, Scott, for having me out here. So the device is non-rigid, and it forms around a baseball cap. And there's a couple of straps, and the straps actually go over the top of the bill, not the back of your head. So we just wanted to make sure, you've got a tremendous amount of viewers. We just want to make sure people knew how to use it properly and didn't pick up any bad tricks.
And that's reasonable. So I did make a mistake. I will say, though, when I tried putting it over the bill, it didn't change my peripheral vision at all. Mm-hmm. I think the main impact would be that it puts a lot of stress on the laminate, on the device itself, so eventually that will probably fail is the biggest issue.
That's correct, yeah. So the polymer dispersed liquid crystal film, the stuff that makes it switch, is actually 5 different layers of material, so it is susceptible to delaminating, and we just want to make sure that it doesn't happen to people who are out there flying with it.
Okay. Well, then now we'll run the video as I shot it, and you can see what you think.
Thanks, Scott.
Thanks, Nick, for coming out and fixing my perception of it.
Yeah, of course. Anytime.
All right. Hey, I'm Scott Perdue, and like I said, today on FlyWire, we're going to talk about instrument flying currency, not so much what are the requirements or stuff like that, because it basically, the requirements are, in a nutshell, that if you're not in the clouds during the major segments of the approach, to include the final, then you can't log it without a view restriction device and a safety pilot. Okay, so you want to get technical, go read it. Not really the scope of this particular video, but what I want to talk about today is foggles. This is what it is. It's a view restriction device. Has a little cutout right here so you can see the instruments, and everything else is blurred out. So that is what we all use, or a lot of us use. Me, I can't really use those because my eyes have gone south. Presbyopia, it's a thing. Who knew? So what I do is I've got these are actually safety glasses that I put my own foggles on because it's got cheaters right there. And if I want to read, I need cheaters. So that's what this is what I use for my safety goggles. There's a new thing out there. It's called the Icarus device, and a fellow named Nick Sinopoli invented it. A young man who's just a real lean-forward entrepreneur. I believe he's mostly a helicopter pilot, a little bit of fixed wing, but mostly a helicopter pilot. And this is the device right here. He has it's made out of this translucent material that has an interesting property that if you put a voltage across it, it changes the opaqueness, okay, how much you can see through it. So that's the way it comes with no voltage, and then in various voltages you put across it, then it'll change all the way to translucent. In other words, you can see right through it. So that's pretty cool. And I think this is really a brilliant idea, way better than foggles. You can use your regular glasses if you wear glasses or whatever it is you do, and then be able to control this. The safety pilot can control when you're in the clouds and when you're not. And I think that's really an excellent idea. So I thought I'd try it out. Actually, I've been meaning to try it out for months, but one thing led to another, and I was never able to make it all happen. So this is the device, and we're going to do a review of it right now. We're going to actually do the most important, what I think, actually for me, what scares me the most about instrument flying. and it isn't shooting an approach to men's, because I'm already flying. And if I need to go around, well, I just go around. A go around should not be a big deal. You should train and be experienced in it to, it's just not a big deal. You got to manage your fuel so it's not one of those situations where I got to make it or I'm going to crash. So given those situations, if you go missed, and you execute your missed approach and you figure out what your next plan is, you probably ought to have that in your hip pocket anyway. So the worst one is when you're taking off. You've been operating on the ground, looking out and orienting yourself, using your eyes, and so much of your balance and everything is tied up to your perception, what gives you the feed from your eyes. And if you don't have that, then the horizon, all that stuff, it becomes kind of rocky. So when you go on your instruments, you have to be on your instruments, and your whole world shrinks to your instruments. And I've been in situations where you go from nice VFR flying, it's nice and pretty, to bam, you got to be on instruments right now. And it's really hard to make that transition from VFR looking outside to concentrating on a very narrow area, and that is my life. In other words, I have to stay straight up and level. I have to concentrate on that. So that transition in the low altitude regime from VFR takeoff to I'm on instruments is kind of scary to me, and that's one thing that this actually you can train for. So this is the on button here, and then I can control it. So here's translucent, and I can see through it. There's two different settings on the translucent part, so it's kind of going through the clouds, or it's the visibility just slightly bad, or I can go all the way to now I can't see through it at all. So it's pretty cool, and that's kind of how it works. And operate with this little thing right here that has a battery on it, and it's got this pigtail. You're going to see me make a comment about the pigtail, Nick. Hope you're listening. But anyway, we're gonna check this out on a takeoff, and it's that VFR transition into bam, I'm in the clouds, and that's one thing you cannot do effectively with foggles. I just don't see any way around it. It's like, is your safety pilot going to kind of hand them and force them onto your face at 300 feet or 200 feet, whatever it is? That's dangerous. It's not a smart idea. So this actually enables that. Be able to do that kind of training. And the other thing is shooting the approach. So we're going to do a full uphold. I may or may not show that because it's kind of boring, but we're going to do a full uphold in an ILS, fly the ILS down, and then we're going to break out around men's, maybe just slightly above men's, and we're going to go ahead and land. Okay, so that is the profile with this, and let's look at it now. So now, just a tutorial on how this works. This turns power to it. And then this button.
I'll be damned.
That cool?
That is cool.
So, we are going to turn it off for a second. What I want to do is I want to do a low altitude takeoff. And, low cloud takeoff. And it's clear that way. A little bit of cloud this way, but we're going to go that way. And about 300 feet.
Yep.
I want you to give me IFR. I turned the battery off just for delay a little.
So that's on and off, and this is clouds or no clouds.
Right. And there's two differences, so you can go either full cloud or partial, reduced, et cetera. So
you want full cloud at about a couple hundred feet?
Yeah, about 300.
300, okay.
So we're at about 1200, I guess, would work.
Okay.
I'm going to call forward approach. I don't think you can hear him. Yes, sir. Bonanza 533 Charlie at Borland, IFR to Mike Echo Zulu. 35, I am number one, and I'm ready.
Okay, so 533 Charlie has cleared runway heading. Radar vectors to Kusa 1 loose, transition indirect. Initially 3,000 feet, expect 5,000 in 10 minutes. Talk on 3597 and squawk 7066. One 1511 cleared off in 10 minutes or call back. 33 Charlie, thank you. All right, so you can turn the battery on. I have never used this before.
Okay. Can you see through it right now?
Not really. Okay, I can see through it now. All right, cool. All right, so I need to get this going. I forgot to turn this on. Finals clear. Mixture prep. Throttle. To go. Flap set, cow flap set, trim set. I'm ready. You ready?
Yep.
What I don't have is I don't have a squawk 7066, and I don't have the talk, which is 3597. Okay.
What did you say about flaps? I didn't understand you.
I check to make sure I touch everything I want it to be.
Okay.
Flap set for takeoff, I'm not going to use flaps. Cow flap set, they're open, and trim set is 0, neutral. Borland traffic, red and white Bonanza taking the active 35 at the straight out departure, Borland. Okay. Temperature's good, pressure's good, here we go. Airspeed's good. Woo, into the clouds. Notch isn't big enough to see what I'm looking at. Departure, Bonanza 533 Charlie is airborne, passing 1600. Radar, sorry, heading 350, climbing to 3000.
533 Charlie, regional prototype deck, regional altimeter 2991.
2991, 33 Charlie with a flash.
533 Charlie with our contact a mile and a half north of Portland Airport at 1,700, turn right, heading 130, come to maintain 4,000, vectors for torch.
130, 4000 for 33 Charlie. Alright, so observation number 1 is this little notch that I'm supposed to see stuff with makes me have to hold my head kind of crooked because it's not quite organized for this airplane. But other than that, I can't see outside. There's nothing there.
All right, so that was the takeoff. I think it all worked out really well. I really like the translucent nature of this. What I didn't like, what I wasn't fond of, was this cutout. Nick has this, he tries to cut them out depending on the airplane you fly, but the problem is for me, I'm not looking right, and I've got that G3X, and honestly the G3X is actually offset a little bit to the left because of the way I designed the panel. I wanted to have the analog instruments for doing aerobatics up at the top, and that forced me to move the G3X slightly to the left. And that makes my eye right there, my left eye right there, and my right eye used to be my great eye, but it's not anymore. It's my left eye, and that was a problem for me. So I had to kind of move it up and turn it around and kind of move it off to the side so I can actually see through it, because you can't. So that's a good thing, you can't see through it, but you need to be able to see the instruments like you would normally in the weather. So I'm thinking that a rectangular cutout, maybe with curved inner corners, might work out better, and it might be a cheaper standard. I don't know. As I'm not speaking for Nick, but I will say that that was a bit awkward. And the other thing that was awkward for me was this pigtail hanging right here. It didn't really want to hang here. It hung right in my vision, and actually right here on the right side and where I could see. So that was a bit of a problem.
Yeah, this makes me feel like my left eye is, I really need to have it cut it back. I guess you could use scissors or something. Because it looks like a parallel entry. No, this is going to be a teardrop. All right.
So it knows to do that itself, huh?
Yeah, it should do it all by itself.
Okay.
Cessna 8857 kilo.
All right, here comes your weather.
All right.
And November 57 kilo, areas of moderate precipitation extending along your route of flight. Beginning in about 9 or
Can we turn it off at minimums?
And that area extends
yeah, maybe just below or just above minimums.
Okay, what are minimums?
1502, it's right there. And you're going to see the markers on here as well.
Got it.
Yeah, I can only see through my right eye. That's what's going on.
Maybe you need to shift that thing.
Yeah.
Shift it to your left, it looks like.
Yeah. That's much better. No wonder I was feeling like I was blind. Whole teardrop, see? Is that cool or what?
That is cool.
And November 57 kilo, just be
All right, we're on the left tank.
An hour and a half ago, in that area at your 12 o'clock, and about 15 miles, an aircraft that was departing to the northwest reported some light rime icing from 8,000 to 9,000. Friendly 445. Report cancellation of IFR.
The pigtail is a bit annoying.
Yeah, it needs a little clip or something on it.
Happy 6-1 flight.
Okay, leaving Heflin, we can go down to 3,000 feet. I have that selected for the altitude select.
November 533 Charlie. Report cancellation of IFR in the air this frequency or on the ground with flight service. Change to advisory frequency approved.
33 Charlie, change to advisory frequency approved, and I will report back with you and cancel with you. Here's Heflin.
November 182
Send down to 3,000 feet.
Forward center 123.902.
269, localizer, we're on the localizer. There's the glide path. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to intercept the glide path here. Here's down. Flaps going to approach. I have to manually set the approach, but it's easy to do. I don't like using full flaps. All right, 2.5 miles to Ellis.
Allegiant 1331, Memphis Center, climbing.
Looked like we had a bit of a shear there. We lost 10 knots on the nose.
Yep.
And Memphis, only 445 wind cap, far. Envoy 4050, contact Memphis Center 132.5.
Gears down, flaps a half.
Romeo Papa, taxi runway 27.
Mina traffic, Bonanza 533 Charlie is on the straight end for 27 on the ILS, passing Ellis, so about 5.5 miles from the runway.
8,000. 285-2, Memphis Center, Roger, Russell, altimeter 2983.
Just approach altitude, I'm going to go ahead and set 6,000.
We'll cancel IFR at this time. Thanks for the service. Many
4.5 miles to go.
376, Roger. IFR cancellation received. Squawk VFR. Have a good day.
700 feet.
You too, sir.
Are we in a big flat area?
Yep.
See, the bumps kind of slacked off a little bit.
Yeah, we got even with the top of the ridge and they slacked off.
Mina traffic, Bonanza 33 Charlie is 3 miles straight in, 27 Mina. Memphis, Bonanza 533 Charlie, cancel IFR this time.
5-5.
Memphis, Bonanza 533 Charlie, cancel IFR this time.
November 533 Charlie, roger. IFR cancellation received. Squawk VFR, and have a good day.
33 Charlie, good day. All right, 100 feet above minimums. Mina traffic, Bonanza 33 Charlie's 1 mile straight in for 27 Mina. Gears down, flaps. I'm going to go to full. Not that we need them with 27 knots on the nose. Gear down, flaps are down. Gear down, flaps are down.
And overall, I like it. I think it works really well, and it integrates the safety pilot into the equation too, so he or she can manage when you can see and when you can't. And literally, really, you cannot see. There's no cheating, and your cutout vision here is way below the glare shield. So there's no even, I can I can cheat, and one look is worth 1,000 cross checks, so kind of situation. But I think it worked out really well. You might like it. Try it out. I think it's an excellent training device, way better than these foggles. And like I said at the very outset, the cool thing is that I can practice the IMC situation that I'm most concerned about. And I think that's a good thing. So anyway, I'll leave a link below to Nick's website, the IcarusDevices.com, and you can check it out for yourself. And if you're at Oshkosh or Sun and Fun, check them out, and it might be a really good thing for you to buy. And he's got helicopter versions. Like I said, he's a helicopter guy. And every one of those apparently is a little bit different, so he's really into the cutouts to accommodate each different helicopter and its particular avionics. I think you can get a bit more generalized for GA. I didn't tell him that, so this is probably the first time he's going to hear that from me. I don't know, maybe it's the first time he's heard that comment anyway. But I really like the device, and I think you might too. So check it out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on FlyWire.